Hey everybody, welcome to this week's DIY. It's your girl Madison once again, and we are here with a very fun DIY this week because it's gonna make two purposes. That's right. First, we're gonna design them in water, and then you're gonna take them and you're gonna dry them upside down and have your own dried flowers. I know, isn't that great? I know. I'm very excited about this one. So we got some flowers for you that are very easily dried. We even got some stuff in this one that is scented, so as it dries, it will make the room smell good. And I'm really excited. All right, let's get to it. So some of the first stuff we got is some limonium. I might call it limo, which is really nice. So limo is really cool because it's very dainty and cool, but it dries very well and it keeps its shape and it keeps its color. So this is a really good thing to work with. This is really gonna be the bulk of our bouquet. Honestly, there's not even that much we're gonna do with it. We're probably just gonna cut it and stick it right in the jar because it's at that perfect shape that's gonna dry beautifully once we hang it upside down. This will probably work as a great background, so it's gonna be fun. Then we have our tried and true baby blue eucalyptus. That rhymes, huh? But we're gonna use this inside of it too. Again, baby blue eucalyptus dries very well, so it's gonna be really nice to play with today. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to use that. Then we have, again, these beautiful safflower, or excuse me, straw flower pieces that we're gonna use inside of this bouquet. Again, we got the more yellow and peachy toned one, so that's gonna look very beautiful against all of our limonium and eucalyptus. Then we're bringing them back. We got our Crispidias, also known as woolly heads, native to Australia, really cool. And we have quite a few of them inside of this arrangement, and I'm really excited to use them because this is another thing that dries well and keeps their color. Because that's what's important about dried flowers, is not all flowers dry the same. So drying a dahlia hanging usually doesn't work, but drying things like roses, straw flower, eucalyptus, limonium, things we're using today are things that dry better. So not all flowers dry the same. Remember as you dry your flowers that. Then we're gonna be using this flower, Status. Status is great because again, it not only keeps its color, but it keeps its shape very well. Like when this dries, it's gonna look like this, which is really cool. So we're gonna be using some Status, and then another pop of orange, we're gonna be using some safflower. We were using this a little earlier in our, when we did the lemon, so we're bringing that back. So very excited, we got some fun stuff today. All right. So first what we're gonna do is we have to remember that when we have a dry bouquet, it's gonna be hanging upside down against a wall. So it's gonna be very much like this, like on a wall, you know? It's gonna lay flat. So when we design this, we want it to be easy. I'm gonna try to make this easy for you. So we're gonna design it in the jar to the point where when you're done, you can literally take it out, clip it, and put it right into some twine and hang it on the wall. So we're gonna keep that in mind as we're designing. So we're gonna make this front facing. So this piece is already looking like the shape I want this to be, which is really nice. We just wanna make sure none of those pieces are, in the water. So we're gonna get our clippers. Always missing clippers. When am I gonna learn, guys? When am I gonna learn? Thank you. The mysterious hand that just comes from the bottom of the screen, the Handy Madison thing. It's honestly my favorite thing about this. And I hope you guys look forward to the mysterious hand that pops up out of nowhere too. All right, so that again is the perfect shape, because if you think about it, we're literally gonna take it out and hang it up upside down, and it's gonna make this beautiful draping shape. So we're just gonna make sure that it's correct, and then bam, that's beautiful. Think about it against a wall, all right? So if yours doesn't come like that, just make sure you're arranging it kind of in this diamond shape. We want it to trail beautifully down a wall, so perfect. And that's the great thing about limonium is limonium usually comes in a very wild, wispy texture and shape, so you won't have to do much to it, all right? Next, we're gonna use this. So this eucalyptus is in some crazy shapes. So just like last time, we're gonna break it down. I'm gonna use it as kind of a thing that frames the bouquet in a way, something that lays up against the wall but pokes out from underneath. So we're gonna break that down a little bit, get rid of some of these pieces so it's just a little bit more wispy and not as full. I really want it to look really pretty and dainty as it lays up against the wall. Clean off some of those bottom leaves that are gonna be in the water. gonna put that piece right there. And then I have another piece right here that's kind of mimicking that shape again, but we're just gonna, you know, break it down a little bit, really get those pieces out of the way so it looks less full, a little bit more wispy, just like that. And we're gonna use that to frame, so you give those bottoms a fresh cut. Bam. So as we design this, it's okay if you go and you design it and you take it out the jar and you bunch it together and you see what it's gonna look like. So this is what it's gonna look like when you design it. And you see how we have the eucalyptus peeking out from the sides and this beautiful ammonium draining. Really picture it about how it's gonna look on a wall. Very cool, all right? So we're gonna put this back into the jar just so we can also picture what it's gonna look like in our vase. And now we're gonna start with the fun stuff. So the first thing I usually like to lay down when I'm doing this is our status. So again, this is gonna be a little bit more symmetrical of a design. So I kind of want to bunch it together and I'm gonna put them in the middle. So I'm gonna turn my vase around. And remember, this is definitely gonna be a more front-facing bouquet rather than a 360 because it's gonna be on a wall. So we want all the blooms to show their face. So I'm gonna put one at the top up here and then probably put another one at the top and then one at the bottom. Very fun. I love this stuff because when it grows, it's like, sounds like paper, looks like paper, kind of like our straw flower, but no, it is a very real stem. I'm gonna put that one right there. And then I'm gonna take this one, give it a fresh cut, and put this one right there. So you got this little symmetrical look going on. It's gonna look beautiful on the wall. Now again, you don't have to make it super symmetrical. That's completely up to you. You know, this is DIY, so artistic freedom is the #1 thing I preach in this. But I think it looks beautiful against the wall when it kind of has that symmetrical look. So now we're gonna go in with our other, looks like paper florals. It's gonna be our straw flower. So I'm gonna just start tucking these in and around. I'll keep one of our stems a little longer so that pokes out beautifully, but I'm just gonna like kind of have these daintily trailing down the middle. Facing forward. Again, we don't want them facing the wall or it'll break off when they start to dry especially. Take off any stems that are super beautiful. These just look like little tiny suns. They're super cute. Super cute. And then I have one more stem that is gonna be more longer. We're gonna keep it at the top a little better. There we go. Towards the bottom. Perfect. I might even tuck that in a little more. All right. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now we have our pieces of safflower that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to have these kind of surround everything. So I'm going to make sure we're giving them all a fresh cut, breaking them down into even pieces. Just like this. Then I'm gonna have another piece kind of trailing at the bottom, or excuse me, at the top. Again, you wanna think about how it's gonna bunch up in the end when it's on the wall. That's what it's gonna look like. I have these longer pieces right here that I think I'm gonna tuck in right here. First, I'm gonna take off these leaves, give it a fresh cut. Almost breaking my own rules, guys. Come on. You're like, Madison, what? Breaking your own rules. You're right, I'm sorry. Make sure everything's facing the front, of course. It's looking beautiful. I still have some status pieces left over, so I'm gonna put a little bit more in there. Really highlight that white, makes everything shine and pop. Put a longer piece up at the top to really get that trailing effect that we want. So, you know, it makes kind of like a V. And then lastly, we got these beautiful crispedias. And I think what I want to do with the crispedias is just have them slowly, just like the straw flower, trickling down the middle. Just to like almost like a, I don't want to say spiral, but, you know, we'll make a really short one first. So let's do this one down here. That one's really short. Then I'm just gonna tuck them in between all these little pockets I got going on. So first I wanna see how long I need to make it. Perfect. Just make it a little shorter. Perfect. I'm gonna do one right here in this little pocket right here. Perfect. And then we're gonna take one more, keep it real long, so again we get that trailing effect. And then we're gonna make sure our eucalyptus looks good. If we have any extra pieces of eucalyptus that are long enough, which I do, we're gonna tuck them in on the ends. Really accentuate that there's some eucalyptus in here. And then bam, so that's what it looks like in our jar. Absolutely beautiful, very symmetrical, gorgeous, very wildflowery, and it's gonna dry beautifully. Now here's the fun part. So what we're gonna do is in about, let's just say a week, when you're like, oh, the flowers have been in here for a while, they're not really dying, but they're starting to droop a little bit. What can I do with these next? Well, what you can do with them next is this. You're gonna take them out, and you're gonna make sure the arrangement is still in the same way you want it to be, like this. So this is mine like this. You're gonna turn it upside down, and you're gonna look at it. You're gonna see if you can see all the flowers. So I'm gonna mess with it just a little bit to make sure that my design stays tried and true. I'll make sure these straw flowers are facing outward so we can see them all. Make sure nothing's hidden. Push out this eucalyptus. You know, really get in there, fluff some things out to make sure that you can see everything. Because once it's dried, it's very delicate. That's the thing about dried flowers. You're gonna wanna put these in a very low traffic area in your house, so don't put them where your dog can get to them or where your kids can get to them, you know, in a low traffic area. And once they dry, moving them around is gonna be hard because they might break, because again, they're very fragile. So make sure how you arrange them is how you like them. That's what I like to say. All right. I'm quite satisfied with that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me push this one up to the front a little bit. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give it a straight cut across. Straight cut across. Bam, now we got that going. And now we're gonna send you guys some bind wire. Now what's cool about this stuff is bind wire is wire that has like a cloth over it, almost like a texture over it. So it looks cool and it's like very tight and grabs on each other because the friction of the cloth around it. But it like sticks to whatever, like how you turn it, how you bend it, it stays that way because it has a wire in the middle. So it's perfect for things like hanging floristry, but also it looks nice. So not only can you work with it and use it as a tool, but it looks good. There's many things like that in floristry. Like there's ribbon that has wire within it. So again, you can bend it, use it as a tool, but then also it still looks good. So yeah, this is just one of those things. So what I did is I just went around it a couple times. So let me wrap it around a couple times to the point where I get like a really thick, beautiful piece of flower in there. You really want to get in there tight. Really tighten it so nothing falls out. So tighten it good. Again, make sure how you like it. It's right before you tighten it super strong. Perfect. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is once that all is tightened correctly, towards the back, once I only have a little bit left, I'm gonna flip it around gently, and you're just gonna make like a knot so that you have a loop to hang this on, right in the back. Right in the back. So I'm just doing a couple twisties, and then I tie together like that. have a little loop, and then I'm gonna twist it off. Just in the back, nothing special. Just something that will hold the weight of all of this. And then I kind of twist it around just to make sure that knot has extra support. I don't really cut it off or anything. Just want to make sure that it stays. And then voila. So I'm gonna hang this on the wall for you guys and show you how it looks. Amazing. All right, so we got our handy nail up there, so we're gonna hang it up so you guys can see what it looks like. I got it upside down, tied into a loop in the back, so that's what I can hang it on. And yeah, let's hang it up and see what it looks like. Beautiful. See, now you can put it in your living room, your bedroom, pretty much anywhere you like. But what I will recommend is if you can, put it in a spot that's away from light so it dries correctly and it doesn't bleach out some of those beautiful colors that are in there. Because when it dries, we have all of these flowers that are in here that specifically dry extremely well. So if you wanted them to keep that color and not bleach them, keep them away from any light. What I recommend is putting them in your closet. I dry a lot of my dried flowers inside of my closet because it's dark, there's no light in there, and it's perfect. It's usually a drier environment. It's perfect. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on this dried flower adventure. We got another one coming up at you next week. And yeah, don't forget to send me your dried flower arrangement. I want to see how it guys turns out. Make sure you send it to the link in the link below. So yeah, have a good one. Bye.